After years of ups and downs, the Dead or Alive franchise is finally getting the appreciation it deserves. Fans are talking, excitement is building, and momentum is growing, and now there may be a chance to bring Dead or Alive back to life. But if Dead or Alive 7 does happen, what would it need to thrive? In this video, I'm breaking down the 5 things Dead or Alive 7 absolutely needs to do, from gameplay and character growth to rewarding players and embracing everything that makes the series unique. Whether you have been a fan since the early days or just now discovering the franchise, this is what I think it would take to make Dead or Alive unforgettable again. Now like and subscribe and let's get after it. Now let's start with the obvious one, rollback netcode and crossplay. We don't need to spend much time here because at this point it's not even a feature, it's a requirement. If Dead or Alive 7 releases without proper rollback, it's dead on arrival. Online play is the life force of fighting games today, and if they want DOA to compete with Tekken, Street Fighter, and Virtua Fighter, good netcode has to be there from day one. It needs to be stable, responsive, and of course needs to be cross-platform. Now, number 2, single player content, starting with story mode through cutscenes and arcade endings. Now, full cinematic story modes often sound great on paper, but they can really hurt the pacing and replayability. In Dead or Alive 6, Koei Tecmo tried to do a Mortal Kombat style full cinematic story mode. However, it felt rushed and didn't have the charm that arcade mode cutscenes and endings had. The thing I would change is that after each fight or every other fight, add a cutscene that shows how the character you are using plays their part in the story, and end with a climactic ending focusing on how that character played their part. This way, players can experience the story in smaller, meaningful bursts, while still feeling like they were progressing through each fighter's journey. This will incentivize players to replay the arcade mode with each character to see how the story unfolds, but through the experience each character has. Also, I'd add is classic modes with modern touches. Bring back modes such as time attack and survival, but this time with better rewards and progression systems. These modes are a part of DOA's identity as both a serious fighter and a game that respects solo play. Both these modes help to progress and reward player skills. And last I would add is character mastery, similar to that of Mortal Kombat 1. This rewards players for spending time on each character and diversifying their experience by doing all the features of the game with each character. Now this section kind of ties into the single player mode, but it's something I've been workshopping. I'm really excited to talk about because I think this would be a fantastic idea. So if Dead or Alive 7 really wants to stand out, it needs more than just great fighting. It needs a world. Now, if it's not going to do a full cinematic story mode, and I don't think Dead or Alive has the area or like the city that Street Fighter 6 has to where they can play some sort of world exploration mode. So therefore, I think it needs a place where players can actually live, hang out, and feel part of something. And I got an idea I believe is perfect for Dead or Alive. So imagine this. The concept is Dead or Alive Hotel or DOA Hotel. So instead of a plain online lobby, make it an interactive hotel environment. Think of it like a hub world that ties everything together. So first, you walk into the hotel lobby, and that is where players meet, chat, and they check in, and I'll get to why they check in later. Then there is the arcade area where players will queue up for matches and spectate and maybe play old Koei Tecmo games, or Tecmo is what it's called back in the day. Now here's where it gets really fun. A casino section that lets players gamble with in-game currency that's earned through fights and game modes. That unlocks costumes, accessories, and cosmetics. Characters from the game will be your dealers and your cocktail waitresses, and you can play games such as blackjack, roulette, poker, and slot machines. Seriously, I can't think of a better side game to add to Dead or Alive than a full casino. It fits perfect with the game, it fits perfect within the franchise, and we already have a famous stage to go off of. And now you walk outside the casino, you walk into the lobby, and you walk outside to check this, the pool section that connects to a full volleyball area where players can relax or actually play beach volleyball matches with others for fun or prizes, such as the swimsuits for each character. So yes, I just attached Dead or Alive Extreme Volleyball to the main game. Now you walk back inside and you go to the gym area, which every hotel has a gym. It's usually not that great, but it can be an area that serves as a training room that you can train with NPCs. You can even train with other players, or you can just use it as a lab like any other fighting game lab. And finally, a boutique where you can use the money you earned from online fights, game modes, and volleyball matches or gambling in the casino to purchase costumes, accessories, or cosmetics. Oh, and one last thing, say you want to go play private matches in a private lobby. Well, go check into your hotel where you can customize your room to be the perfect location to either play or relax. I think this hotel idea is the perfect mix of style, community, and reward, and it's something that feels uniquely DOA, but is also perfect for the DOA franchise and fits really well with the DOA look and feel. It works well because it's a place where you can go and hang out, you can do casual fights and ranked fights, and even after long sessions, there's always something to do, and it's something no fighting game has done before. Yes, we've had lobbies. I think Tekken did really well with its lobby. I think Street Fighter has done really well with its lobby, but nothing to the extent of this. And with taking away the full cinematic story, I think the resources that would be used to make a full cinematic story can go into this lobby. And side note, I know that the West generally doesn't like lobbies. We like just a functionality menu, but the Japanese really like lobbies, and as long as we focus on character customization or character costumes and not on your avatar's customization, I think it would do really well. Now that part, I want to know what you guys think. I've been working hard on workshopping this and writing it down. I've been going back and forth with some people in the community about what they think, so I want to know what you guys think. Please comment about that. Now on to the next section is let the characters grow up. One of the biggest things that DOA 7 needs to do is let its characters grow. The fans have grown up and the series should too. And one of the biggest things that they can do to grow up is by evolving the existing characters while introducing a new generation. I feel that Street Fighter 6 perfectly executed this. Ryu, Ken, and Chun-Li have all grown and matured, and we were also introduced to Luke, Jamie, and Kimberly. I feel like they respected the original characters and did them justice while introducing new blood that doesn't overshadow and disrespect the old characters. Now with Dead or Alive 7, I feel like we should do something similar. First, they need to grow up with characters to show that not only are they not 18 and 19-year-olds, but mature adults who've grown up and evolved. Here's a couple examples of things that I would do with the characters and way to mature and evolve them. With Honoka, I would no longer do the bubbly student who secretly fights. Now she's an executive who channels that same fiery spirit into her work and still sneaks into the underground tournaments for the thrill of it. For Kasumi, I would say that she has matured into a mentor figure and she's trying to reconcile her past as a runaway ninja with her role in a new generation of ninjas, or maybe particularly one ninja that reminds me of her. For Ayane, maybe running her own covert operation. She's still cold and focused, but with deeper emotional conflict beneath the surface. And Tina went on to become a model, actress, and a rock star. She never got to become governor like she wants, but she ended up investing in her own wrestling organization. Each update tells the story of time passing and gives old fans something to reconnect with them emotionally. And by bringing in new fighters that reflect modern archetypes or cultural shifts, but tie them to existing lore. Some possible ideas would be maybe a student of Hayabusa that represents a fresh take on traditional martial arts, maybe a cybernetically enhanced fighter from DOA Tech's Next Experiment and a callback to the series' sci-fi edge, maybe another street-level brawler who fights using modern MMA or urban techniques that maybe could be Diego's brother. Or for Honoka, you can do a rival executive that blends business world drama with the fighting spirit that she has. The goal isn't really to replace old characters, it's to expand the world and let the new blood as well as the old blood carry the series forward while respecting the original characters. I believe that if DOA wants a comeback, it needs to evolve with its fans. We've grown up, we're older, we've got jobs and responsibilities, and we want to see those same themes reflected in the characters we've loved for decades. It doesn't mean they stop being sexy or stylish. It means they have depth. They've lived and they've changed just like we have. And now refining the core mechanics. If Dead or Alive 7 wants to win back the fighting game community, it needs to get its mechanics right. Not overcomplicate them, not chase trends, but bring back what made DOA feel so good to play. The first thing I would do is remove the break gauge and bring back power blow. DOA does not need a meter, and the break gauge system in DOA 6 felt like it was trying too hard to copy the super meter trend from other fighters. It took away the identity of DOA, a series that used to reward raw read, smart movement, and mastery of the hold system. The break gauge didn't add any depth, it simplified things. It turned clutch defense moments into flashy supers instead of mental battles, and DOA 7 doesn't need that. Bring back the power blow from DOA 5 instead, because power blows were earned. They added hype without breaking the pace. The second thing I would do is fix stage transitions and interactions. One of DOA's signatures has always been its interactive stages, but DOA 6 lost that magic. The repeatable interactions felt gimmicky. They're like pressing a button to trigger the same animation every time. In DOA 5, every stage transition felt like an event. You didn't have to press a button. You earned it through positioning and timing. It was cinematic, but still in your control. I believe that DOA 7 should go back to that. Make the stage transitions more dynamic, more dangerous, and more skill driven, just like they were before DOA 6. A third thing is keep the hold system, but refine it. The hold system is what defines DOA. It's deep, it's reactive, and it gives the game that intense mind game feel that no other fighter has, but it can be adjusted for better balance. I don't think it should change that much. I think they should keep the hold system almost exactly how it is. It is a part of the soul that makes DOA, but I believe that the timing and the recovery, so it rewards smart reads and not random mashing. It should feel like a high-skill defensive tool, not a panic button. And 4 is I would make throw techs easier to react to. This isn't just for newcomers, this is for old heads too, because throws in DOA are really hard to react to. I don't want to take away from the triangle system, but I do believe that the throws need to be reactable. So one of the smaller but important things is make throw breaks easier to tech. Throws should feel dangerous, but not unbeatable. And easier tech timing would help the flow of matches feel fairer without removing DOA's aggression. And the last thing is I would keep movement exactly how it is, but I would make sidestep usable. One of the key differences I found that made DOA 6 different and for the worst was sidestep. Sidestep felt useless. One of the changes that really killed Tekken 8 in Season 2 was everything was homing. Now Dead or Alive is super fast and aggressive, but I feel like the sidestep can be improved so it is as usable and skill-based as the hold button is. At its best, DOA was about rhythm, the push and pull between attack, defense, and adaptation, and it didn't need supers or flashy gauges. It needed precision, style, and momentum. That's what made DOA feel alive, and that's what needs to come back. Now, before I move on to the last section, I did want to throw in some honorable mentions. I asked players in the DOA community what they think about what needs to be in DOA 7, and one of all things was Elliot to regain his fashion sense from DOA 5. I was actually pleasantly surprised to find that DOA fans really like Elliot and want him to mature and grow, and above all, regain his sense of fashion. Another thing I felt would help is to bring in 1 or 2 guest characters from other fighting games, the way we got Akira and Sarah Bryant in DOA 5. Now, normally I am opposed to guest characters. I'm a little scared from Mortal Kombat, but I feel if properly implemented and with the success of Tekken and Virtua Fighter, Koei Tecmo could use some help with those franchises to give DOA a little boost. In the last section, and this kind of ties everything together, is make the game rewarding again. One of the things that made Dead or Alive special was how rewarding it felt. You didn't just play for ranks, you play to unlock things, to earn your style, to make your fighter yours. That's something DOA 7 needs to bring back. Number 1 is bring back costume unlocks. In DOA 5, unlocking costumes was a part of the experience. You would beat arcade mode or survive endless battles just to earn a new outfit, and when you did, it meant something. That sense of progression gave players a reason to keep playing even offline. DOA 6 lost that feeling when it tied costumes to random unlocks or DLC bundles. I'm not opposed to DLC. At this point, it's just a part of gaming in general. I do like DLC and want all the different DLC bundles. But for DOA 7, I think they should make unlocks to feel clear, fair, and satisfying and make you feel like you're progressing in the game. Number 2 is focus on quality, not just quantity. We don't need 1,000 recolors. We need real outfits, unique designs that show personality, culture, and growth. Something that tells you who each fighter is and who they are now. And having said that, bring back legacy costumes that were favorites from past DOA installments, as well as outfits from the Ninja Gaiden series. For example, I would bring back Christie's blue flame leather jacket, which is an iconic look that fans still talk about. Bring back Tina's American flag bikini top and jeans that's modernized with detail and texture. And 2 outfits I would implement is Ayane's black and purple stealth gear that's upgraded for a new era. Speaking of new era, I would also bring in her Ninja Gaiden 4 outfit that everyone seems to love. Bring back the legacy looks that made these characters memorable and mix in new ones that show how far they've come. Number 3 is make unlocks unlocks feel earned. Everything from costume colors to new taunts or accessories should feel earned and not bought. Whether it's through arcade clears, time played, or special in-game challenges. I know I've said this before, but let players work for the rewards again. Dead or Alive has always been about expression, not just fighting style, but fashion, flair, and personality. When you bring back meaningful rewards, players invest more time, more passion, and more love into the game. And that's how you build a community and a franchise that lasts forever. In closing, at its heart, Dead or Alive was never just a fighting game. It was a celebration of skill, style, and attitude. If DOA 7 can embrace that again with gameplay that feels alive, characters that have grown, and community that's welcoming, then yeah, Dead or Alive deserves its comeback. Thank you guys for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. Comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, especially with the casino idea that I've been workshopping a lot. I've been writing that idea down for a long time. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time. This is Shred, out.